Hello, what's going on, y'all? Happy Monday. Hope y'all had a great weekend. And now it's the start of the new week for some new price action. See what's going to go down or up, right? Anyway, it's Z-Rex, it's No Noise, we're live. It is April 17th, 23, a little past 11. And let's go ahead and jump right into it. I got a busy day today, so we're going to just try to run through this one. There's not really too much to discuss. We are getting a little bit of that stalling. Excuse me. We are getting a little bit of that stalling, which is kind of expected here, just to come back and test maybe this 28,000 handle. So we're getting a little sell pressure today after we Doge'd out under the next major resistance area. I mean, everything still looks okay. Like same as last video, above 28,000 on Bitcoin, definitely short, medium term, bullish. Below that, maybe we go back and test down over here, at 24K, which actually would look really good if we did go down there and test and then bounce really swiftly off of there as a nice little sine wave action. But right now, getting a little selling pressure as we come up to this major resistance. Again, not that surprising. And it's still above 28K, so it's all good. Ethereum's 28K is 2K, so as long as we're above 2,000, not too shabby. We are a little bit away from the 21, so maybe we just go sideways. It catches up a little bit, but just keeping it simple above 2,000. Don't really have to worry about the bears very much at all, just like 28K on Bitcoin. So pretty much the same as Friday's video. Let's zoom in just a tad. See if we get anything here. Maybe if my chart can load. Yeah, the bears are attempting to take over on this 8-hour chart here, but until they could really get below 28K, I just don't really. They're just weak sauce. Let's go to futures. Yeah, futures kind of showing the same thing. Also right at 28K as well. Let's go to GBDC. Yeah, GBDCs, whatever. GBDC did, as we mentioned on Friday, it did fill this gap almost perfectly. Maybe it's just doing a liquidation break. There is another gap way up here at 22 and change up to 24 and change. That'd be a hell of a move. That'd probably be, Bitcoin at upper 30s or something like that. Bitto, whatever. Don't care about that. ETH futures. Oh, actually, let's look at weeklies real quick. Oh, beautiful, because this is important. We always have to do the weeklies on Monday since we don't do streams over the weekend. But this is actually really a really nice candle. We ended up getting that body close above all of the wicks on top. That is very sexy. That's what we wanted to look for and get for maximum bull girthy green dillies. And so we got that for the close on spot price last night. Very good. So this is really solidifying that 28,000 level. And just to say it again, above 28K, it looks perfectly fine on the shorter, medium term time frames. And then on the macro, just above the 24,000 handle, looks also perfectly fine. And just as a reminder, the monthly will close here in a couple of weeks. And if that thing can close above also about 28K, that would actually have all time frames up to a monthly would be in bullish posturing. And that's pretty damn significant. That probably hasn't happened since way over here in 2019 in May. So almost 4 years ago. That's pretty serious, y'all. That ain't nothing to sleep on, or whatever analogy you want to use there that I can't come up with at the moment. It's Monday. You give me a break. Anyway, we got that nice open and close. So it's been a long time since that happened. Maybe you could argue that this little dance right here in April 2020, 4/20/20, hell yeah. So maybe we could just say that too. Either way you slice it, it's been pretty much 3 or 4 years since that has happened. All right, so that is pretty nice. Again, that's still 2 weeks away, so anything can happen, obviously, in 2 weeks. But other than that, the 28 looks perfectly fine. Let's go weekly. Oh, wow. Nice weekly candle close. We even came up above this high, too. That is a higher high on weekly structure now. That's pretty damn sexy. And let's look at the monthly on this, too. Kind of in the same vein here. Obviously, the next major resistance on this is about 2,400, 2,350, somewhere in there. And the last time that this happened was, Ethereum's not near as old. We got a little fake out here with the Doge and rejection, and then the last one would be right over here. So May 20th. So pretty much the exact same times as Bitcoin's monthly. So we are almost flipped on all time frames to bullish, which is pretty damn sexy. Let's go to Litecoin. Ooh, damn, Litecoin. Let's go. Busting out of here. All the EMAs looking very good. We consolidated, got above that 95 area. We actually have 2 open and closed dailies above it. So now previous resistance is now support at 95 bucks. Very nice. How's the weekly? Weekly is okay. It's decent. It's not as good as Mama Bear and Unicorn Shirt Man. Obviously, that 105 is still major resistance, but so far the chart is building fairly well here. Not too shabby. So it's above that 94, 95 area. I like it. Ethereum Classic. Oh, look at that. Couldn't muster up the strength over the weekend to do shit. Doge at the top of its range that it's been ping-ponging in for almost the whole entire year outside of this little mini dump. But, it still looks pretty good. A couple more days up here, we'll start getting the 200 to curl up, and then we'll have confluence on all of the EMAs and moving averages. So that would look pretty good. And as long as we're above 21 bucks, I can't really hate it too much. XR Pizzle, what are you doing, Brad? Is he cooking up some garlic bread? No, he ain't doing shit. He's just going sideways as hell. Still looks perfectly fine above about 49 cents. Let's go to the weekly. Weekly's got a freaking another just indecision type candle. It's just sitting right on top of 200. Let's go to the monthly on that one. Not much on the weekly to see there. I mean, it's just really reiterating that 48, 49 cent zone. Yeah, as long as we're above there, no problems. Really need to see the bear or the bulls kind of take out 54 though. Even if it gets rejected, I would like to see an attempt with a body closer to 54. We did have that on Friday right here. You can see it immediately was rejected. So let's see if bulls can get another one. That looks like the next major contention point is about 54.2. And of course, it has to have 42 in it, right? XLM, obviously in the same kind of boat as Ripple Me Nipples. Same thing here. Major overhead resistance. You can see all this cluster here. And if we zoom out to the weekly, you can really see that. All this business right here between about 10 and 13 cents. We're just on the bottom of it, knocking on the door. See, if we could get over like 11 cents, we'd probably go to 13, and then we'll have to reassess. And this one looks fine above this little swing area at the tops of these wicks at about 10 pennies. Same shit, different day as last week. TRX, most of these are the same. Nothing really happened over the weekend. Pretty typical nowadays. Above 6.5 cents, it's all good. This thing is compressing like a mofo. Big moves coming up on Tron at some point. And if it is to the upside, there is pretty big targets up above 10 cents in the low teens. Dot's attempting to break out. Looks okay. Let's go to the weekly. Yeah, the weekly's just been magnet on the 21 EMA, which is this yellow line right here. Just super magnet. Super tight. This compression still building on most of these charts. Another few days, by the end of this week, we will have a positive slope on the 200, which is pretty sexy time. That also has not happened in a long time, since way back over here. This is not, Dot was out before this, but whatever. Yeah, it looks fairly decent above 650, and it's at 669 right now. Hell yeah. ADA is actually breaking out. ADA looks really good above 40 cents. Love that chart. Weekly open and close above all of the range. Of course, same thing as a lot of stuff from last summer. There's a lot of consolidation there. So we got a little bit of overhead resistance. But looking pretty damn good above 40 cents on Charles Hodgkinsons. Very nice. And as long as it's riding this trend line and just keeping this Momo up, hey, whatever. Bulls look nice and strong. Linky, look, Linky Poo's at the top of its range. Will it try to bust through and go to this little 942 target, which it has done 3 times, maybe 4th time's the charm to break it. We do have higher kind of lows from here, although a little sloppy, which this is akin to almost all the shitcoin charts kind of look like this. But this looks perfectly fine above 760. See if we can get out of this little range box at about 840, and then obviously major resistance at that 942 area. EOS just keeps riding the underbelly of this trend line. Looks okay. Let's go to the weekly real fast. Yeah, it looks okay as long as it's kind of riding above the weekly, but that compression, man, is super real. Only be concerned about this if it lost about 115-ish, so kind of the same as the videos for a while now. This is interesting. Vol flashes at the top of a pump here in the range. That is very odd. That does not happen often. I mean, but we're still in the range, so just using the regular, candlestick price action analysis, top of range, that's probably going to sell off a little bit. Bottom of range is probably going to get bid up, and it's going to keep doing that till it don't. You can see we have 2 little breaches here that were immediately rejected, tested other side of range pretty much instantly. So we're kind of just lollygagging, and in the little bit on the upper end, but close to the middle zone here around, in the upper 120s. Interesting vol chart. I don't see that very often to have vol flashing when it rallies to the top of range. But again, just showing that there's big moves coming out of this consolidation. Very nice above 128. You start getting back below there, we probably go to the bottom end of range again. And range trading is kind of simple. It does range trading and ping pongs until it doesn't. Oh, look. Not doing shit. We are above the 21, though, and the mama for the last couple of days. So that's, I guess, a little bit different. The last time that happened was back over here in February, late February. Let's go to the weekly. Yeah, weekly's still meh as hell. But hey, again, this one is a slow mover, slow grinder. A lot of people don't really care about BSV. As long as it's above like $34, I'm still going to be holding this one in anticipation that Bitcoin is just kind of holding everything up above, 28K for now. We start losing 28K, I'll probably peel off some of my altcoin positions just, because we could get some pretty large swings. You can always rebuy. You can always buy back in. Let's see. XMR kind of just chilling, getting a vol flash at the top of range too. Also very interesting. Last time that technically happened was back here right before a big pump. Here's another one that led to a pump and very large dump. So interesting. Again, historical volatility up here. That is a directionless indicator. You kind of have to use structure and other stuff in with it. So above 158, same shit, different day. Looks okay. I do like that we're parking up on top of this magenta candle. That's actually pretty damn good. So holding this way upper 50 zone, 150 zone, I do like for the bulls. Zcash pumped all the way to the 200 MA, kind of getting a little bit of stalling pressure. That's perfectly normal and expected. Let's go. And it also coincides perfectly with the weekly. So 21. Is the weekly 21 going to finally get breached this week on Zcash? Stay tuned. It might. Above $39 though, this looks perfectly fine. Dash kind of attempting to get out of this little range box, getting rejected so far. So now we're just back in ping pong mode. Assuming this candle closes down like this, it does have the potential, since there's 7 hours left, it does have the potential to come back up and close above like 59, 50, $60. And if that were to happen, that would actually be pretty bullish on the shorter time frames. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, weekly is just ping ponging between the 21 and 55. So it is holding the 21. So that is pretty good. Major support around 55 cents. Or sorry, dollars. Dogecoin trying to pump a little bit today. Let's zoom in on that. What is that? Oh, it's just this little cluster. Yeah, whatever. Trying to get a little pumpage off of the EMAs, this Twitter crap pump and dump real quick, but we're getting a decent reaction. This still looks perfectly fine above about 7.5, 8 cents. Nothing's changed since the last week's video. We are up against the 618 right there off of the wicks and tails, and we're above it on the bodies and in the deep retrace zone. So pretty interesting little spot here. Maybe we could ratchet up shorter time frames to like 8.5 cents. As long as it's building above 8.5 cents, this does look pretty good. Obviously, major resistance at 10 pennies. Above 10 pennies, we probably go test like mid-teens. Below 8.5, 8 cents on the shorter term, probably come back to this trend line. STX. Well, it was looking pretty good on for last week, but now we're kind of just getting the dribbles back between the moving averages. Man, back below 78 pennies. We'll probably come down and test this little swing low at least. Pretty interesting spot there. Kind of a little lackluster for the bulls. Yes, they are barely holding on to this little local low here. So I guess as long as they're doing that, it's okay. But don't forget, they couldn't even make an attempt to get up over here around $1. It was like immediate rejection on this candle engulfed and getting follow through. So not the most bullish attempt by the bulls. Is that redundant? Probably. But not the best attempt by the bulls off of that. True. Phi. Sideways is F. Okay, above 6.5 pennies. Upper 6 cents. But nothing to really add from last week. It's pretty much the same shit. Above that 6, let's just call it 666, the triple sixes. But again, kind of lackluster performance by the bulls here. So for a month now, they haven't really been able to make a new high. So that's a little bit concerning. Oh, Radix. Look at that. Actually pumping over the weekend. Another 16% on Sunday. Man, Sunday pumping, that's kind of rare. You don't see that often. Man, this bitch has just been ripping face off. Closed the week out up 74% almost. Very nice. And man, to be fair, this is over this swing high over here. And this actually looks pretty damn sexy above 7 pennies. What's this swing high? About 6. And we got all this business about 69. Oh, hell yeah, 6.9. So above 6.9 pennies, this actually looks pretty damn good. Yes, it is a little extended away from the short-term moving averages. But overall, still looking pretty good. And we do have some bearish divergence between this point and this point off RSI. So maybe we just get a little cool down time. But man, above 6.9, this thing looks pretty damn sexy. Oh, poor hexagons. They're attempting to break the range. Below 6 pennies, below these little tails right here, which is roughly 6 cents. Yeah, it looks pretty bad. You do have the 200 there, and I'm just saying it looks bad if it did get below there. But man, super consolidation. It is above all its shorter term moving averages, so that's different than a lot of other coins. And again, lots of support in the 6 cent handle. So as long as it's above the 6 penny handle, it looks okay. VeChain. Look at this. VeChain's outside of its little range box, attempting to defend it. The bulls are at 2.5 pennies. So above 2.5 cents. Can't really get too mad about the bulls. Let's see what they did for the weekly. Yeah, the weekly's pretty good. Open and close above the last, 5 weeks of business. Above the mama. That's not terrible. Above 2.5 cents. I can't hate it. Major resistance at 2.6, so it's a pretty tight range right here. And I would pretty much play this. I would play the breakout of this because, it's not that far away. It's only 3% or something. And this could easily just come back into the range at this point. So for me, I would just play the breakout of 2.6 and a half cents or so. And that would be like an open and close above there. Adam, trying to break out here. Very nice pamp. Good pamp off this trend line. Is this going to turn into a false breakout, though? Hopefully we don't see that by the bulls across the space here. We'll probably get a pretty good idea this week if that is to likely occur. Next major spot is about 1320. But as long as it's kind of holding all these bodies right here in this breakout, let's go to the weekly. You can probably see that a little bit more better. Yeah, so as long as it's holding this like upper 11 handle, it is not too shabby. You start getting back below like 1180-ish, not the best. We'd have to reassess there, and maybe it just dribbles to this little corner and then takes off. That does happen a lot on the triangle breakouts like this. But overall, shorter term above upper 11 handle looks pretty damn good. We're looking for the bulls to try to take out 1320. Osmos, kind of same thing, breaking out or attempting to break out. This actually looks pretty good in a similar position as Adam. Way different price though. It's about 82 cents, like low 80s. And then we're looking for a 90-cent attempt by the bulls. We start getting some price action above there and piercings above that. We can probably look for a test of this little cluster, and that's between pretty much $1, give or take 5 pennies. Tron, ooh, ouch, or sorry, Ton. They almost look the same as far as the ticker and stuff. Anyway, Ton kind of dumping a little bit, but hey, it's a higher high technically. Let's see if we can create a higher low on this intermediate structure right here, and that would just need to be defending about 220. If we can defend 220 and get continuation, not too shabby. And this one's still. Man, hold on. Let's go to the weekly. The weekly's still holding up on the 21. I mean, this is mega consolidation. Just reiterating that there's just super large moves coming from crypto here soon to a chart near you. Hellbound, what's going on, dude? Good morning. Yeah, when I say breakout on that, I would use a daily. Sometimes I'm assuming you were referencing like Link or something that had that. Is that the one? Or what? No, it wasn't Link. It was STX. Crap, which one was it? We look at so many damn things. But yeah, regardless, it has to be an open and close. And generally, I like a few of them. Sometimes I might just ratchet down the time frame. It just depends on what you're what you're trying to trade and how long you're trying to hold or whatever, and be in the trade. But a daily would be like longer term swing trading. But sometimes you can zoom in and let's say it keeps pinging off the daily a bunch, so it's like keeps pinging. Oh, like this one, that's what it was, VeChain. So on this, you do have the daily above it, but you could zoom in and you could look back over here and be like, well, how many times did we have like an 8-hour close over range and get follow through? And it looks like we did a few times. So, technically you could use like a smaller time frame. You get like 2 or 3 8-hour open and closes above there. That would also work for me too. And I pretty much don't mess with time frames below about 8 hours, especially on crypto. I do use 3 hours on traditional markets, but that's because of the time difference of trading. This is truly 24/7. But anyway, I digress. I like at least 2 or 3 open and closes above range. That gives me the best confidence. On this one specifically, though, you do have a pretty tight stop you could implement here. If it just starts breaking a little bit below back into this box, then that's probably going to test the middle of the range. But yes, to answer the question, the open and closes over ranges are very important. And also, if you use that for a bearish trade, we got to open and close below 2.5 pennies. You could play a trade to the bottom of range or middle part of the range, something like that too. So it works both ways. All right, let's go to traditional normie markets. We've got the S&P 500 still struggling. as y'all know, we've reiterated this last week a crap ton of times. That mid 150, like 4150, 4180-ish area is mega resistance on ES. This is a monthly chart, so this is no joke. Very, very important. And let's just ratchet it up to 4200 to keep it easy. Plus, it's a great meme number. I've been using your 458. Oh, nice, man. Yeah, it's a good time frame. I really like it for crypto. It doesn't really work on traditionals because it's right at like the 8-hour area. And that's pretty much the whole trading session. So it pretty much just looks like the daily anyway. I can just show you that real quick. If you go over here, it's like a funky daily version. It just doesn't really work on traditionals. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, over this major resistance, 42. Until we're above 42, I can't really get bullish on the S&P yet. Yes, it does look decent. Yes, we are getting the slopes curling up. We're almost getting there, but I want confirmation on this because we're so close. I mean, we're less than, 30 points away, less than 1% away. It's only 0.5% here, 25-ish points. And for me, that's just too much risk to hold on where something the bears could easily reverse trend from here. So I want to see it get above 42. We get over 4,200, a couple dailies, open and close. Above that, I would start targeting the almost 44 range if that were to happen. But we're almost there. I just don't like to jump the gun, especially when we're just so close. Like, what am I going to play? A 20-point stab to 4,200. Like that's just not worth it for me. I'll sit on my hands and wait for a little bit better positioning. NASDAQ is trying to it's a semi flag right here. It's not a real great looking one. But it is over the EMAs. We are getting all the slopes up. I mean, this is kind of what you want to see. We just need the bulls to confirm that they have the momentum to break major resistance, which they pretty much are all at, more or less, except for, well, actually even Russell, even though it's more in a bearish stance. But this still looks perfectly fine above about 13K. But really, I'm not taking trades on this until it either goes below 13 or above 13.3. Just hurry up and wait, pretty much. The Dow and the C, same kind of thing. Major resistance. You can clearly see all these bodies where my horizontal is at about 34.3. And until we get above that, I can't really get super bullish on it. If we did do that, I would look for some probably test of this next horizontal way up here at 35.6 or so. But right now it's just in this little level between 33.5 and 34.3, just kind of chilling, ping pong action. It is starting to build a pretty nice chart, though. We just need some follow through at this point from doubles. If you know what that's from, let me know. The Bears is actually the Bears. Sorry, I messed it up. I think they say the Bulls too sometimes, but it was mostly the Bears. Anyway, Russell is the only one that's not bullish, like, at all. It doesn't have any slope up. It's got super sideways slope on the 200, which is this dotted grayish white line here. And then the shorter term moving averages, they're still pointing down. The mama's still pointing down. It's still below the trend line. Russell is actually still very much bearish, which is kind of interesting. We spoke about this last week, that it holds lots of regional banking risk up to the mid-teens or so. That does change every once in a while, but it's typically around 15-ish%. So they have risk, and why aren't they rallying? Like, what's up? Why is it not following through? I don't know. It's a little bit questionable. And the 3-hour, which I like to use on futures and stocks, mostly futures because I don't like to really intraday trade stocks. So every once in a while I like to do scalping and intraday futures trading. But so I like to use the 3-hour for that, or intra week even. But you can see we just been chilling down here. Can't get over that 1800 area. And every time we get over the 1800 area, even on a 3-hour, we'll just get no follow through and then rejection. We get over it right here, rejection. We get over it right here, rejection. We're attempting to build it again right here. Is it going to be rejection one more again? We don't know yet, but it's struggling. Um, Almost about to get out of this trend line, but really needs to clear comfortably on the daily open and close above 1800. And you can see the only daily that we had open and close above it is this candle right here. And it was a doji that was met by follow through to the downside. So, yeah, bears are still asserting dominance on this so far, which is very different than the other indexes. Also, a little bit bearish still is the trannies. The transportation index is still looking a lot like Russell. Can't get over this little hump. All the EMAs are still mostly sideways to down-ish. I guess this one's a little bit mostly sideways versus Russell, but very similar. And the struggle is real here, just kind of ping-ponging. Below this little swing high at 14.4 is kind of meh. SNL, that is correct. When it was actually funny, Hellbound. Yeah, I was watching some old skits with Farley and Adam Sandler, the Schlitz beer or the gay Schlitz gay or whatever in the pool. Man, they had some awesome classic skits. So funny. So funny. All right, DAX though is still trying to break out. So we got like bifurcation like all over these traditionals, which is weird. We even getting it in bonds too. You know, some people aren't thinking the bonds or the hikes or rate hikes are going to go up this year, but the bond market's telling us that they kind of are. We'll get to that here in a second. So it's anticipating more hikes. I don't know. Everyone's just kind of confused. It seems like, but based off pure price action here, this looks fine above 15.8. We lose 15.8. I would consider that a false breakout to the upside because this is technically getting close to all-time breakout. But if we kind of just struggle here, and let's zoom out to the weekly, it'll be a little bit easier to see. You can see this resistance is real serious at about 16K. So if we can't even get a daily open and close above 16K, I would be very cautious about the bulls on that chart. Holy smokes! Well, Shanghai said, suck it. We were talking about this on Friday, that this actually looked pretty good with this doji right on top of this box for some continuation, and that it was a lot better than this attempt and false breakout where we test range real quick. Now we're actually getting the pampage. This is pretty interesting. Let's pull out a little. Well, interesting. Look at this. It does have major super mega resistance though, like right here at about 3,400, which is just about shy of where it's at. But nonetheless, looking pretty damn good on Shanghai. What the hell? How odd. This is bulls are attempting to confirm their move above 3,333, all threes. So above 3,333. This looks pretty damn bullish. Interesting. Oh, poor VIX. This didn't come to fruition. Just kind of selling off. We're deep down in the hole now. Let's go look at VVIX. It's starting to break down a little bit today. And futures are still holding the trend line. That's odd. Huh. Weird. Maybe they won't be today after the update because this is still Fridays. This doesn't print. Oh, no, wait. This is Mondays. I'm sorry. It says delayed right here if you can see this on D. Delay. Oh, it's only delayed by 10 minutes. My bad. Derp. Anyway, holding up on this trend line so far, so that's a little bit different. So even VIX has some bifurcation, which is kind of weird. Oil. What's oil doing? Yeah, look at oil. Damn it, back below 82.50. The bulls could not do it. And this is a perfect example of how important open and closes are above range. I think people get faked out a lot. I know I have gotten faked out a lot, and that's why I like to implement that open and closes are super important for trend changes because 1-2 candles does not make a trend change, and almost never does it flip or price just blow through mega resistance or supports on that single candle. And you can see here, 82.50, we've been pounding that table for a long time. And you can even see, look at this doji, its open was 82.40, its close was 82.52. Now, is that splitting hairs? Maybe a little bit, but it's a doji on a really important range where you should be getting bulls to be able to close above that if they're strong. And you can see this was open at 83.22 and the close was below 82.50 at 82.16. So we literally didn't get one candle in the bulls attempt to break out above 82.50 and we're getting selling pressure already. So that's just I think another good example of how important open and closes are. And you also have the 200 right above it too, applying that pressure. Oh gosh, hold on. Still looks pretty decent though here above $80 or so. Kind of this gap. I guess it's 79 technically at the top of this gap here. We start losing 79, we probably fill that gap pretty quick. And also that would coincide well with from false breakouts come fast opposite moves to the other side of range, which would be around 75 bucks. But hey, that could just be a gap fill for a continuation. We'll have to just kind of see. That's speculation, but at this point, bears are making themselves known, and this could be turning into a false breakout. So do keep an eye on that. We start getting a couple more dailies this week below like 81.50. I would start to put the odds in the bears' favor that we do test the other side of range. Holy crap, what's happening? Nat gas, what? Okay, it's doing something different. We were talking about that hammer candle on Friday actually looked fairly decent for the bulls defending that 210 area. And now they're actually saying, yeah, we got this. It engulfed the previous almost month of candles. Okay, so this is actually a very good development for the bulls on nat gas. Let's see if the weekly this week can maybe get back above like 240. But that's a pretty beast mode candle to close for today. I do like that. Let's zoom in a tad. Let's see if we can get this open and close, though. Look at that. We just rallied right up to kind of the range. Really need to see like a 3-hour open and close above 230. We get that. We probably will come up here and test 250. And look at this volume, too. Big boy volume here. So maybe a flipping point on nat gas. It's been beat the hell up for so many days and months, actually, at this point. So maybe this is actually the time to flip a little bit. Interesting. You know what's actually interesting now that I'm looking at this? Just to jump to palladium real quick. So the whole, what was it? The whole Russian crap, right? Started what in like I don't even know. Not like way back in the day with Crimea, but the recent one. I guess what was that like? Crap, when was that? I should remember. I feel like it's longer than I think it was. Yeah, back over here in about a year ago now at this point. And palladium rallied really hard because Russia is pretty much the sole source of palladium, and it pumped really hard. Everyone got scared. Nat gas did the same thing, right? Pumped really hard into that. And I'm wondering if we get this pump on nat gas and we got this pump on palladium. Look at this. While the other metals aren't up really today, I guess platinum's up a little bit. But that's interesting. Is this signaling that there's something coming down the pipeline? With March of last year. Okay. Marchy time. Yeah. So you get that super pump. Thank you for that, Hellbound. And you get the super pump over here too. So is this signaling that something's about to pop off over with the Russia-Ukraine debacle? I don't know. That's interesting. I just kind of piece that together here after seeing palladium's move. That is very, very interesting. If this keeps trickling up over this week, I might be a little bit concerned about normie markets and possibly even crypto. ZB, look at this. Bonds, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, they are saying rate hikes are still a-coming and that there's no pausing yet. We're back below that 130 area, which we were talking about all last week. We get comfy below here and we start trickling down back into the mid 120s. Uh-oh. We're going to be at like 6, 7, 8% rates? I don't know, man. I don't want to say this time is different because that's usually famous last words, right? But it might be. I don't know. This just I feel like everyone's just really confused right now. There's just so much weird kind of anomalies and price action and just different signs of on different tradables. So it's just kind of it's definitely a harder read. It's not just like, oh, buy the dip, it's bullish as hell. It doesn't matter like it had been for a long time. Now it's you have to be a little bit more astute trader. I think it's not just buy index funds and go work and get your 401k matched. So anyway, notes saying the same thing here. And look, what did we talk about last week? TMF. When it breaks, false breakouts come fast moves in the opposite direction. We're getting that. We're about to just go ahead and fill this gap too, another 15 or so cents. Are we about to just go all the way to the other side of range? Technicals would say yes, that probably is going to happen. And that would probably happen this week, I would imagine. So kind of interesting there. TNX, same thing. False breakdown, opposite side of range, right? Are we moving up to, 390? I mean, look at this. Very interesting, y'all. Dollar bouncing off that 101, of course, with TNX and stuff doing all that. And the bonds, obviously, getting rejected right at this trend line. One more again. Little voodoo tea leaf reading. Pins the price just one more again. We are getting the slopes though, so this looks kind of good above 108. Can't really hate that. Back below 108, which will happen if the rates start getting jacked up and TNX keeps going up, especially back above 370, which was the previous flip zone as where this blue horizontal is. So we start getting back above there, man. I would look for some pretty nasty selling in equity markets. Gold. What you doing, gold? Okay, it's trying to doge out on top of the range. That's okay. As long as it kind of still holds this 2K level, don't hate it, can't hate it. Start getting below 2K. Yeah, and I would need a daily open and close below 2,000. Then we probably go test another 50, 60 bucks lower and have to reassess after that. But overall, this still looks perfectly fine above 2,000 bucks. I cannot hate that one. And we got just like a little doji on top of the 21. I mean, this is fine. That's not a big deal because we do have this higher high on the daily. So that's the one thing that does help. But if this was a lower high, then I'd be a lot more concerned. But since it is a higher high, it's kind of giving the bulls a little bit more of their edge still. And above 2K, no, bad, not bad. What's up, C Salpice? Nice streams. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Can I share your WLs? Oh, what is that? Do you mean like wins and losses? Is that what that means? Let's see here. Silver still looks fine above 24.20. We've been talking about that for way too damn long. So we all already know what's up. 24.20, we're above that. It's all good. And I mean, all the oscillators are still pretty much in the favor of silver. Bulls right now, we got all the slope up on the EMAs. I mean, this is fine above 24.20. Until that got breached, I'm definitely bullish on that. Oh, my watch list. Oh, yeah. I guess I could do that. I can export those. I'm pretty sure. I believe I can. No, where's the create new list? Yeah, I could do something like that for sure. That's a good idea. Oh, here it is. Share list. So what is this? Do I just share all of them? I actually haven't done that before. Let's see. Let's say if I just share this daily one, copy to clipboard. How does that copy to the clipboard? Is that just text? Oh no, it does something like this. Look, oh crap, whoops. It does something like this. Currency, can you upload it? Export. Oh yeah, export list. Here you go. Here, I'll just post it in the chat right now. Bam. So if you just go to that link right there, it looks like you're able to see. This is actually really cool, man. TradingView has been doing some really cool shit this year, and well, really like the last year, just adding all kinds of cool features. I just really like these guys. Oh, and I can even just create links or share it on my Facebook or Twitter that I don't use. But yeah, here you go. You can just upload it from right here, export list, and then download it, do whatever. Bam. Very cool. Nice. Well, there you go. And I can share some other ones too if y'all are interested. Just let me know. Oh, look, it just posted this automatically on the thing. Well, yeah, we don't need that right here though. Thanks though. All right. Platinum looks perfectly fine above all these things, all these candle bases here at about 10, 20. I like this weekly. I mean, this looks pretty damn good for platinum. I would only be concerned if we lost like $1,000 again. Maybe even like this 10, 20, if that coincided with losing like the 21 EMA, which is this yellow line, then I could probably change my tone a little bit. But right now, it does look pretty damn good. And then we already kind of talked about palladium. This is a very nice chart above 1500. That is turning into a nice little saucer base pattern here. We're starting to get over the EMAs. Little resistance at 1600 is on the higher time frames. Definitely major resistance there. But on this daily, though, we are building a pretty damn good chart here. GDX. Let's see what GDX is doing. Kind of lollygagging up here above 33 half back. Obviously, some pretty good resistance. As you can see, this horizontal area, about 36 handle, which is about right where we ran, right to this little gap. But on the daily, this does still look perfectly fine above $33. How about a monthly? Ooh, we're about to get maybe a green monthly candle here in a couple of weeks. Haven't seen one of those in a while. All right, let's go back to the weekly. Yeah, I mean, this looks fine above like $33. We'd have to get it open and close below 33, and then I'd start to question the strength of the bulls and the precious metals. So 33 on GDX, and it's about 40 on GDXJ, which is the junior miners. So still looking pretty damn good. Obviously does have major resistance here too, like right where this last week's wick was on GDX and GDXJ. So, but hey, we're making higher lows and higher highs on the weekly. That hasn't happened actually because it didn't do it here. Technically, you have a lower low, higher high, megaphone style pattern. Here you've got higher highs, higher lows. That hasn't happened since way back over here a few years ago. So we are getting some posture changes on metals. That's good to see. All right, let's go to sector majors real quick, kind of see what's popping off. Little mixed bag. Kind of up a little, down a little. Regionals are rallying a little bit. Energy selling off. Let's see. Still lollygagging down here, though. Regionals are still well below their moving averages, short-term moving averages. And actually, they're actually below this target from this formation here, this red target zone. Was our target from this breaking down, which we actually like went past. And look, it can't even get above the bottom side of that target zone. That's pretty interesting. And we got negative slopes on all of the EMAs, and they're tapping now. Man, maybe we're about to get some resolution on this consolidation here. Interesting, man. Back below 35.50. Watch out below. Watch out below. Let's jump over to blockchain stuff. Of course, we're getting a little sell pressure today. Kind of expected. Let's go to our little not ETF, but our index, minor index. Obvious little resistance here at this swing high at about almost 400, but this looks really constructive above 330 on the weekly. And also on the daily, above 330, I cannot get bearish on this. And this is good for confluence for Bitcoin bulls. Higher highs, higher lows. Let's see if bulls can take out this 400 level now this week or so. That would look really good. Or pretty much by the end of April, that would look really awesome to coincide well with the monthly chart on Bitcoin. The link doesn't work for me. Anyone else? Really? Huh. If I just click open a new tab and I do that. Try it again now. Maybe it works now. I can also do this. Hold on. Let me see here. Skip. What? The source and the destination are the same. Are they though? Are they, bro? Let's see if I can put this in here. No, it won't let me put that in there. Yeah, see if that worked. Did that work for you? See, Salpiece, for that for the link for the list. Also could DM the text. Oh, it does work now? Okay, cool. Sweet, Zor. You're welcome. Core's coming back to test. Little bastard market maker yesterday, man. Or yesterday, yes, last trading day in the session. I was trying to sell some of my cores here just because at 50 cents, I was trying to take some off. And the market, I think I mentioned on Friday, the market maker would not fill me. I was like a penny below the bid, too. And they still wouldn't fill me. I knew that. Yeah, there's like a little, I just clicked this little share button. So I think I have to click this to like allow it to be shared, is my guess. That's the only different thing I did. So if you use TradingView and are trying to share list, click that link and make sure you click this little button right here. Anyway, yeah, I was trying to get out, and I knew whenever I see that, when market makers on thin stuff or options, they don't want to let you out even when you're well below the bid. That's generally a sign that the trade is probably going to go against you soon. So, which is funny. I mean, yeah, it's still up, because I'm in from down here, but it's still kind of just like, God dang it. Oh, well, it's all good. Maybe this is just a little liquidation break before continuation to go to fill this gap at about 84 pennies. Let's go. All right. I think that's let's see if my overstock trade is working. Nah, it's okay. It's kind of nothing. It's all good. I'll just I'm in this until it breaks like 18 bucks. It's all good in the hood. T0. Oh, nice. I did buy some of this one, XY Labs. So that one's up 5% today. That's cool. It's a sloppy ass chart. The data on it's really bad, and you actually have to set up a T0 account to even trade this. Speaking of T0, just on the bottom of range. This is interesting compression right here. It's a real sloppy kind of pennant flag sort of formation. So it actually looks pretty good above 340-ish. Miners getting slapped today. But we were talking about that on Friday too. They just got super ahead of themselves and super excited. So having a couple days of sideways and a little bit of sell off is okay. That's healthy. You can't just go in one direction forever. And there is still very much this inverted head and shoulders pattern on this hut right here. Look at this. Bow, bow, bow. And we are technically on testing the breakout line. All right. So this right here, y'all, this is where you're supposed to wait for trades, right? On formations, you're not supposed to jump the formation and buy here like, oh, it's a head and shoulders. How do you know that? You need it to build at least probably 80, 90+% of the pattern. And there are rules for some of the patterns too. Like you're not supposed to just buy the bottom of the shoulder. Technically speaking, you buy the retest of the breakout on the trend line or the neckline in this case. Sorry. So that would actually be like right here, to be fair. So that's kind of interesting. And then what's the measured move on this? Let's just kind of take our head and shoulders. Oh, look at that. Right here to this swing high at about 350. So that tree fitty, that Loch Ness monster, man, he's always trying to get that tree fitty. But hey, this is actually technically kind of a rebuy zone for a hut. Interesting. I might nibble on that one with some options because that one does have options, and I think they're fairly liquid too. Let me go look real quick on my chain, on the options chain. Let's see, stock, NASDAQ. Yes, they do. Yes, they do have options. They've got quite a few. They got no weeklies. They only got monthlies, but that's okay. An IV on it is fairly high, so you can get some pretty decent premium on those. Yeah, so they got some good options in there. You can do call spreads or sell puts or whatever your thing is if you're an options trader. All right, I think that's probably it. If anyone wants me to go look at a ticker, please throw that in the troll box now, and we will check that out or forever hold your peace. Let's see. Let's look at some of the top traded stuff. Apple, Amazon, just chilling. Bank of America. Ooh, Bank of America. This looks like distribution, like a mofo. And we got earnings, it looks like this week. Next week. Next week earnings. Let's see. Cisco. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Boeing. I'm sorry. Boeing looks like a little bit of distribution here with earnings coming up next week. Because I thought most of the banks have earnings this week. Yeah, there we go. Just have my tickers mixed up there a little bit. So earnings tomorrow for some bank action. Interesting. How's that going to fare? Cisco. Yeah, just kind of looking at some stuff here while I'm waiting for some tickers to be put into the box. Intel, Nvidia. Yeah, nothing really too crazy. Tencent. Man, Tencent actually has a kind of a inverted head and shoulders here too. Real deep one. Man, what would that measured move be? That looks gargantuan, dude. Let's see. Yeah, all the way to this little local high here. Wow, $90, $95. That's pretty impressive. This thing got above. Let's put an alert on this because I want to know about that. Crossing up. Boom. Got it. In. And don't be, man, use alerts. They're so handy because then you don't have to keep looking at the chart all the time. You can put the alert on and then you either get the alert and it's time to go look at it again, or you don't get the alert and you don't cloud your brain with a bunch of different crap because there's just so many freaking things to trade. Let's go look at municipal bonds real quick. Okay, also a little inverted head and shoulders is still being built out. Tempting to break the neckline, but no luck yet. And that won't happen if rates start getting jacked up. TNX just chilling. How about HYG? Ooh, broke out of this channel. Ooh, man, that's actually kind of bearish below 75 handle. Interesting. So, should we dare look at the weed stocks? Oh, look, some of them are actually up today. Let's go. Tilray. Oh, up today. Yeah, okay. It still look like shit. Yeah, it looks like, well, except for Corbus Pharmaceuticals, what the shit? Holy crap. Do a stock split, dump, and then pump. Interesting. Wow, that bitch is up a lot. That thing's 5x'd in the last month or so. Well, I don't know what's going on with them, but apparently it's something people like. Maybe they got passed on some kind of, what do they freaking do? Serious inflammatory diseases, some other shit. I don't even know. Maybe that's not even weed related anymore. I made this list a long time ago, so sometimes it changes. Are we going to get some 420 love? We only got 3 days. I do have some positions on some weed stocks, but they're going to need to run a lot harder than this to make any money because they are structured with options. So it looks like we're trying to get a little bit of love for the reefer madness for Wednesday pump time. All right, I think that's probably it. Oh yeah, mushroom stuff. I was talking about this with my buddy. Look at this big ass pump on MindMed on Friday. I was talking with my buddy that, the big thing holding weed back from really running and the stocks running is it's Schedule 1 still. And until that changes, which is probably not likely for this administration, they're not really too keen on the weed thing. So that's probably not going to happen before whoever gets to be president next. But the one thing that might happen first, we were discussing this, the few of us, that, man, they probably will push the medical value of mushrooms first before marijuana for whatever reason. I don't know. That sounds crazy to me. But, there's already like ketamine places now where you can go get like slow drip ketamine, which is crazy. But so maybe this will actually hit harder and quicker than the wheat stocks will. So that's just kind of some food for thought. I've been chewing on that for a little bit and kind of keeping an eye on some of these mushroom stocks, which there isn't that many of them unless you're outside of the US. I think this is like an ETF right here, this Horizons one. It is an ETF, but You can't trade it in America. But the ones you can trade in America, Compass, these top three here, Truff and Mind Medicine, are kind of the best way to get exposure to that if you're kind of interested. I'm kind of watching it. I think there's maybe something there in the idea of it seems like it could get traction faster than weed, which sounds crazy, but whatever. Weed's just been hated for so long. All right, I think that's it, y'all. I don't see any tickers to go look at, so let's just wrap up. Oh, hold on. One thing, I do want to look at these exchange tokens with y'all. Crypto exchange tokens. Let's go to the weekly. So look at this, man. Some of these exchange tokens will do very well if Bitcoin just holds bid, right? BNB. Oh, look at this nice little saucer getting above all these EMAs. They're starting to curl back up. This actually looks really good above 300 bucks. I mean, look at this consolidation, y'all. This is like getting ready for big moves. And I love stuff like this because I just wait for the one side to break and then I jump on board. Easy peasy. Don't overthink those. Okay, this one has been just killing it. I don't know why. After FTX started happening, like money just started pouring into this. You can even look at their volume stats. OKX is just really killing it. And look at this pump, retest of the previous local high here, and we're getting follow through to the upside. This thing is literally about to go into blue sky mode above 55-ish bucks. And you could probably ratchet down to a daily. Let's see. Yeah, we get a daily open and close above 55. This thing goes into price discovery, and that could go, shit, I don't know. Let's do some fib just for fun. Fib for fun. It could be a new segment. Fibs for fun. A 1618 extension is right up here at about 114. And I would ratchet that down to 100 just because hundreds, those whole numbers like that are usually mega resistance, like 100, 500, 1,000, whatever. So that could be a very likely target if we get an open and close above 55 bucks on the daily. Some of the exchange tokens, I was just looking at them this weekend. They're just very, very super sideways. So pretty interesting. All right, back to the wrap up here. Let's wrap this biatch up. Bitcoin getting a little sell pressure. It's okay above 28K. Nothing's really changed. Pretty standard to get a little selling after you get to a major resistance point. I mean, look, it happened here at 24,000 once, twice, got it the third time. You know, if we go once, twice, will we do the same thing here? Possibly, but I don't like to really predict price. I like to just kind of follow it and listen to it. And above 28K, I'm not concerned with bears yet. And these weeklies that closed, or the weekly that closed Sunday night, is very, very sexy and is solidifying that $28,000 level. Hardcore. Mucho hardcore. Also, same thing with Ethereum. Got the follow up above 2K. Looks perfectly fine. Just kind of taking a little bit of a break here. Can't get mad about that. Can't just go up every day. Other than that, what is this? Oh, thanks for the follow. Shinta75, appreciate that. And Morbid Chili, if you're in here, appreciate the follow as well. Looks like that was yesterday, but Shinta just joined us. Appreciate that. Welcome. Good to have you. Welcome. Anyway, yeah, above this 95 area still looks perfectly fine. And the overhead resistance here is 100. You can see how 100, just mentioning actually that a second ago, that 100 level is just ping-pinging on OKX's token. So you can see 100 level, very, very real resistance. Open and close on a daily on 100 on this, dude, probably is going to get us running to, what is it, like the 110, 130? Or 110, 120? Yeah, 110, 120 area. So, all right, I think that's it. Just kind of see if Mama Bear can hold this 28K. We start getting below there, we very well could go back and test 24,000 handle. And that wouldn't be the worst thing. You know, just really solidify that. It only concerns me for bulls on crypto if we start getting comfy below 24,000. So until then, it's all good, man. I like it. Let's go. Hey, thank you, Hellbound. Appreciate you being here. I'll see you on Wednesday. And I think that's it. Oh, let's go to traditionals. We still got that major resistance overhead at 4,200. So just in a real tight spot. Same with NASDAQ, major resistance right overhead, all less than 1% away on the three of the majors. And Russell is not there at all. It's actually struggling to even try to get bullish on a daily. So it's actually struggling to get bullish on the 3 hour. It's just sitting here chilling in this range. So trying to get going, and then also that mention of the nat gas and palladium. Keep an eye on those two, because if those keep rallying, that's going to be a little bit interesting. All right, awesome guys, much love. Appreciate y'all coming in. Have a super happy Monday. I'll see y'all on Hump Day morning for the next live stream, and until then, much love. Peace.